guys, hope everyone is well, and today we're going to be talking about the 21mm TTArtisan f1.5. So, let's get straight into it. This is an ultra wide angle lens for a Leica. You probably know that Leica do make a 21 themselves, they make a 24, and they also make a 28. The 28 is the only one, as far as I know, that actually has the built-in frame lines. So the 24 and also the 21mm don't have it, hence why you need one of these. This is basically an external viewfinder that when you put it up to your face, that you'll be able to see everything in frame. Now, this has some quirks to it, as anything will, but I'll get into that a little bit later. So this is the TTArtisan f1.5, and it is an absolutely fantastic lens. As you can see, it's quite compact on this Leica M9 here. Really good balance to it. The build quality is absolutely fantastic. The focus is so smooth. It is a little bit more dampened than other Leica lenses that I've been lucky enough to use, but I quite like that. But it's not, I would say, like harsh or anything like that, but you do get a really good focus throw on it. Still quite, quite tight, in the sense of like how far the distance is. The focus is absolutely fantastic. On top, you'll have the traditional Leica-esque sort of branding here. So you've got the 21mm just on the side there in like a sort of yellowy orange. And then on top, you'll have your meters and feet. And below that, you'll have your aperture. And if you're doing any sort of zone focusing, it will tell you what your f-stop is and what will be in focus. Again, I'll be putting photos up as and when through this review, just so you can actually see it. It goes from f1.5 and stops down all the way to f16 in some really nice aperture ring. That is, it's absolutely beautiful. Has lugs on both sides, so no matter where you are in the zoom range and how you're doing it, you can either flick it here back to f1.5 or with your thumb that way. I tend to just keep it with this way and doing various bits like that. As you probably noticed, each time I'm sort of focusing or looking through the viewfinder, I'm not going to the rangefinder. I'm going straight to the top external one. Again, that's because whatever you cannot see the whole of the lens, what the lens is seeing in the viewfinder, the rangefinder. Sorry. So what I tend to do is get up and go, yeah, I'm in focus, and I'll basically zone focus everything. So you would, think, okay, right, cool, I'm at, I don't know, say, f4, I'm getting now f4. You look at your lines here, everything from 1.5 to roughly 5 meters is in focus. Boom, put the viewfinder up this way, and you go and take a photo. Now, this external viewfinder didn't come with the lens. It should have done, but unfortunately it didn't, so that's just one gripe I have to make. Another thing is that it doesn't actually have any frame line built into this. It you put it up and you just see everything, so you've got to get used to it. Once you get used to it, it's great, it's fantastic, but that's just to bear in mind that it would have been nice to actually see a frame line etched onto the well, I suppose lens or glass, whatever you want to call it, in the external finder, and then you kind of judging it a bit better. Another thing with this is you can go straight like this and just take everything that you see. What you will see though is the front of the lens at the top here or the side, depending on how you're holding your camera. But that never gets in the shot, obviously, because it's the top of the lens. But that can throw you off a little bit as well, depending on where you're viewing it. This is just for the TTArtisan viewfinder itself. I'm sure the Leica ones and the Zeiss ones, they're probably built tremendously better, probably have frame lines in, but I've never used them, so I can't really tell you. The only other thing that's really weird is that if you're doing something and you want to make sure you're in focus, you either go here and take the photo, or you do a rather odd, you frame and then you lift the camera up and take a photo. Now, because obviously this is on top of the camera and the lens is down here, so you kind of get where you want, and you either take one here or take one on top like that. It's a rather odd, sort of like work experience. It's rather an odd like working environment for it, but really, you kind of go right, okay, cool, or you're a bit like, yeah, bang, like that. Weird, I know, from when you're like in the rangefinder and you've got your, your frame lines and you know exactly what's going to be in frame. It's a little bit of a pick and mix of this. Sometimes you can get absolutely fantastic shots. Sometimes you think, oh God, I wish I just raised it a little bit more, or I kept it at the level that I was looking at. It's one of those lenses that you really have to use for quite a bit of time. And once you do, it's brilliant. I absolutely love it. And I'm a 50mm guy, and you've seen the previous 50mm review, but I absolutely love this lens. And I don't know what it is. I think it's a combination of it being so wide that you have a lot to work with. You can really, get up close to subjects and make them look massive in their environment, or you can go a bit back away and do a lot of layering with the lens. Another thing is just how well balanced it is and proportioned to a Leica M body. It's just absolutely fantastic. It's not as long as the 50mm. It's quite a chunky lens, but it's absolutely fantastic. And just the way to use it and do everything, you're quite quick and quite in the moment. If you see something, oh yeah, okay, yeah, bang, boom. It's a rather rapid lens that I call it, both in aperture with its 1.5 and just how you use it. I find that I tend to shoot at about f2 on it. That's just the sweet spot for me. I have shot at f1.5 and it's fantastic. I think it's brilliant. The lens is really sharp. It does bring a lot of contrast. So if you're a type of photographer that's, likes to kind of keep things a little bit more neutral, it's not really going to work. But this is absolutely fantastic. Right out of the box, it produces really good colours. Only thing that I will say about the box and presentation, it is massive compared to the lens and everything. And then also when we open it up, you are given a really nice lens cap to put over it, which is absolutely fantastic. A little squeeze one there, and then you also get one of these round ones, which I've been informed you can screw onto that, and this is where you put your circular polarizers, filters, etc. The other thing with this was, again, it was just slightly out of focus. So again, I had to take the lens off. These little screws here, I had to undo and slightly move it. Literally didn't need that much, but again, disclaimer, if you only have M bodies that are film cameras, you're better just asking a buddy who's got a digital one to calibrate with their rangefinder and then put it on your lens. That's probably the best way of doing it. Like I said, if you do have a film camera, you can lift your film up, put some ground glass, put the lens on and do it that way. Yeah, it looks too fiddly for my liking. You guys, your mileage may vary and you might be quite into that. But that's basically it. It's an absolutely fantastic lens. I absolutely love it. The lens hood on this is absolutely brilliant. It's aluminium and it fits nicely. It has a really deep flush when you go into it, so it's on there. It's absolutely fantastic. Aperture ring, so smooth, clicky, absolutely love it. Focus ring, smooth, slightly more dampened, but it's brilliant. And the throw, as you can see, is very tight, which is again, it's fantastic for street photography and other things as well. It's a brilliant lens, and I'm really impressed with it. I think it cost me about, I think it was £350. So what's that? It's probably about $420, give or take. It's so worth it. It really is worth it. I mean, if you think of okay, fine, this is a 1.5, but if you think of the Leica Summilux 1.4, you're talking probably $4,000 or $5,000. You know, this is not even anywhere near that. And it's very hard to kind of knock it at that price. It's an absolutely fantastic lens. I love it. It does stay on the camera quite a lot. I tend to shoot 50mm more, but once this is on there, this is probably going to stay on here for a good month or so, and I'm just going to absolutely love it. But anyway, guys, that is the review of the TTArtisan 21mm f1.5. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you so much for all the love and support that you've shown on the channel. Really do appreciate it, and I'll see you all in the next one. Cheers, guys.